Hello, dear brothers and sisters. So, I've kind of been staying out of the whole global context for different reasons, but I've been asked by a few people to make a video about this, so here it goes. The Tzolkin count just started again on the 30th of March with the red magnetic dragon. The Tzolkin is the sacred calendar of the Mayans, or the galactic calendar, composed out of 20 solar seals and 13 lunar tones. And no, the Mayans did not predict the end of the world in 2012, and you can watch the videos called 2012 ending of the 13th Baktun of the Yellow Sun, and the video Who Are the Original Mayans, where I speak to you about this topic and the mass media propaganda of fear that got generated from this. The Tzolkin, a 260 unit calendar where each unit is a day. It's kind of like a periodic table of interdimensional galactic frequencies. And for more information about this calendar and how to read it, you can watch the video called The Structure of the Tzolkin. The solar seals, representing different archetypes with light and shadow aspects, they move in a mathematical progression describing an evolutionary cycle of being from birth to enlightenment, from matter to consciousness, where each archetype incorporates the one that comes before it. For more information about the 20 solar seals and each archetype, you can watch the video called The 20 Solar Seals. And because the Tzolkin count just started, we're currently in the wave spell of the red dragon, and it lasts from the 30th of March until the 11th of April. For more information about what wave spells are, you can watch the video called The Structure of Wave Spells. The red dragon is the symbol of the Divine Mother that births a new reality, a new being, a new earth. And I find it very interesting correlating what is happening in the world with this calendar system, because when the whole mass hysteria started, we were in the wave spell of the Blue Eagle from the 4th of March until the 16th of March. The Blue Eagle is the guardian of the collective consciousness, and pretty much all of our collective fears have been coming to the surface ever since. And from the 17th of March, we entered the wave spell of the Yellow Star, and it lasted until the 29th of March. The Yellow Star carries the power of harmony and represents a time where we understand that our ability to see and perceive harmony comes from our centeredness and inner peace. Because everything is perfect in this incredible, magical universe, even what is currently unfolding. It's only our perception and expectation of how things should be that keeps us from truly seeing the harmony that is. Because harmony and perfection is not something that we need to run after, something that we need to attain. It's something that we need to learn how to see, because everything is harmonious in this universe. And the current global situation is actually a blessing in disguise if we know how to look at it. I don't want to make this video about the coronavirus itself. There are many other people and doctors speaking about this and the madness that is unfolding, from the physical to the metaphysical. But I do want to encourage you not to consume what is being presented to you by the media without questioning. And be aware that someone is making a lot of money and has a lot of interest in keeping us panicked and afraid and believing that there's this invisible threat that is going to kill us all and that there's nobody that we can trust except our government. I don't know when was the last time your government truly held your best interest at heart. And I also want to encourage you to do your homework about 5G technology and what it means, and just make sure that the studies that you are looking at are not funded by the very people who are putting this technology on the market, because that would be kind of like a big conflict of interests. But going back to the Tzolkin, the red dragon wave spell, representing the birth of the new. Like any birthing process, it might be a little bit painful in the beginning as the old structure and the old self dies to make room so that a rebirth can take place within us. The dragon is one of the primal energies helping us to go back to the source, helping us remember that we are all united by our common origin as beings of this planet. The red dragon reminds us that the earth is our mother, our nurturer and provider. And we, her children, have been mistreating her for way too long, taking her for granted, turning our back on her, declaring war against her, massacring her body, her blood, her air. We have deviated from nature, and just look around at the consequences. According to Tibetan medicine, infectious diseases are generated by environmental abuse. And this virus is the final outcry of our planet, our mother, which we have been abusing for way too long. Now, this virus, this current global situation, just like the solar seal archetypes, has light and shadow aspects. Basically, duality is the founding principle of the universe that gives birth to the whole universe. So each being, each stage in our consciousness has light and shadow aspects. Even a virus. So its shadow aspects are that on a mental and emotional level, it induces fear amongst people, division, suspicion, isolation, narcissism, misunderstanding. It activates and brings to the surface so that they can be healed and integrated all our fear-based programs, our fear of dying, fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty, fear of people, mistrust and suspicion in others. It basically reveals to us all our inner shadows. And it makes me think of the original virus of the soul, which forgets his divine origin and his interconnectedness with everything. He forgets himself, basically, and the whole narcissistic based personality starts developing, where we see ourselves as the epicenter of the universe and separate from everything else. This perception takes birth within the consciousness of human beings, and it's kind of like a virus. The planet is a living, breathing organism just as much as we are. And in the light aspect of this whole story, this virus is revealing to us just how easy it would actually be to change and create a new world where the earth is respected, honored, and cherished. If this virus is the planet's response to the destruction of the ecosystem by humans, it's a cry out to humans to stop, to change their lifestyle, and to find more alternative and sustainable and regenerative ways in which we can live on this planet. And look at how many amazing things have been happening around the world ever since all of this started. The planet is breathing, the waters are cleaning, even the ozone layer is healing. We cannot go back to the same lifestyle that supported the creation of such a virus. We can no longer live in an unsustainable world where we disregard the life of other species and other people, where we disregard the ecosystem, where we pay no attention to our health, and where we live as if what we do does not have an impact on the planet and future generations to come. So the light aspect of this whole global situation would be that it's really bringing us to a place where not only we realize we need to make a change, but we are actually forced to make a change, inside and out. This virus is showing to us that globalism and capitalism have failed us. And the structure of human life needs to be changed, and it's equally as important that we change how we think, how we perceive others, how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive Mother Earth, and all other beings on this planet. After the global lockdown is done and over, do we go back to the same lifestyle and continue doing things on this planet in the way that we have until the next global catastrophe? Or do we make changes in the way that we live on this planet? Do we change the way we perceive ourselves and others? So on this Red Dragon wave spell, allow for the new to be birthed within your being. And I actually want to encourage you to take this time to envision and hold the image of a humanity that is in harmony and in touch with itself and with nature. Hold this image in your heart so that it may penetrate the collective consciousness, becoming greater than the fear that is infecting it. If you've watched the video about the noosphere, and if you haven't, I encourage you to do so, you know that we are responsible for the thoughts that we put out there in the collective. And especially now in these uncertain times that we are living, those of us that have done the inner work and have cleared the inner shadows, we have to hold our vibration high and keep an optimistic mindset so that we can anchor in these cosmic frequencies that are coming in. The red dragon also helps us to understand and to really feel that the universe is listening to us all the time. And whatever happens in our life is just the fulfillment of our own thoughts and desires, whether they're conscious or unconscious, because the unconscious mind has a much more deeper effect on our daily life than our conscious mind. So we are creating what is happening, whether we know it or not, whether we are aware of it or not. And whether this virus is man-made or natural, it doesn't really matter. It's the shadow within the human mind, within the noosphere or the collective consciousness, or however we want to call it, that has created all of this. All our fears, all our unconscious beliefs and programs have generated this reality, and we are responsible as creators of our life and its events. And we cannot move into this new world as long as our old attachments and fear-based programs are still functioning. We are electromagnetical beings, each of us having its own unique wavelength. All these negative aspects of our being are just like static noise, jamming our frequency and keeping us stuck in a short circuit where we keep recycling and repeating past patterns and traumas. And all of this is keeping us from being present. Instead, we're stuck going over the same patterns over and over and over and over again. And it's time to let go of all of that. It's time to let go of our fear so that we can begin to co-create consciously a more harmonious world. So let us birth a new reality, a new humanity, a new earth, one where the life of each being matters, where we see the earth as a living, breathing organism, where we see ourselves as caretakers and nurturers of this planet, where we live in harmony with our ecosystem and all the beings and plants on it, where we see ourselves as interconnected by this primordial heartbeat that comes from the source. A new world where we stop seeing ourselves as separate, and where we remember our true nature, which is love, not fear. Fear is only the absence of love. And let's not forget the year we are currently in, the white magnetic wizard. Before the year started, I was expecting it to be full of magic and rainbows and butterflies and unicorns all over. But before we can get there and we can experience this magic, before we can connect with our hearts and allow all of this magic to flow and unfold from our being, we must first let go of all of our fears and all of the things that are stopping us from growing. And right now is the perfect time to do so, because all of our fears are laid down right in front of us, and this way we can really look at them and really understand and accept them and love them, and thus we can allow ourselves to grow. The challenge of this year is the yellow seed. And the yellow seed archetype represents exactly this, the power of growth. So if you're in the dark, maybe you've been planted, and now is your time to grow and bloom, stripping away all of the fears and patterns of your past self so that you can embrace the new and shining you. So that's it for today. If there are any questions about the Tzolkin or the 30 moon calendar, or if you're interested in decoding your galactic signature and understanding your solar seal and your lunar tone and your light and shadow aspects, feel free to write me a message either on my Facebook page or on my email. Until the next time, wishing you a most joyful day. In Lak'Ech.